Hey guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I am so excited, man. We are finally getting into Ateez's Fever series albums. I am so pumped. I've heard nothing but good things about these. And from all the songs that I have heard from these, they've been some of my favorites. So I'm excited. We're going to start with Zero Fever Part 1, which is the first one. So I have heard two of the tracks on here, THANXX and INCEPTION. I was going to leave them out, but I think I'm going to keep them in just because I like them. So, and just like get a feel for the whole album as a whole. So there's Dear Diary, Fever, To the Beat, Good Little Boy, and One Day at a Time. So I've heard a lot, especially about Fever. That is one of these songs that I probably have been looking forward to hearing out of all of their discography, just because of how much I've seen on it. And I did just check out one of the live clips from the Hongjoong busking session and stuff, and I wanted to check out the Fever one, but I haven't heard the song yet, so I put it off. So after I listen to this album, I can finally listen to that. But I remember from, I think, the guide that I did of them, they had a little clip of, I think, Fever in it, one of the live sessions they did or something, and I absolutely love the sound of it. Although that is a live, so I'm not sure how like much they remixed that or anything, but I am excited nonetheless. I've heard a lot about To the Beat too. It looks like they have like a selfie music video version, so we're gonna do that after we watch the lyrics. And then Good Little Boy, I've seen a couple of you guys recommend that one. I don't know much about it, so I'm looking forward to that one too. And then One Day at a Time, which I feel like One Day at a Time is an emotional one, so I'm kind of worried because I've already cried today, not from Ateez. And you guys know how I am with Ateez, and I am just worried about that one specifically because it is the ending of the album, and that's when they usually try to like, bring out the emotions. So I'm excited nonetheless though. It is one of the shorter albums that only has like 6 or 7 songs. So we're gonna get right into this. I'm excited, man. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it, so let's go. Okay, so I did watch the Diary film already too. And I know that's like a pretty like thing that you should watch before like getting into the albums and stuff. So I did watch that. And we're also using lyric videos, and lyric videos are not 100% accurate. I know that. So I'm going into that knowing that. But one of you guys made this playlist for me when I started doing albums and stuff. So thank you. We're going by that. But yeah, I'm so excited. We're gonna start with, it looks like Dear Diary and Fever are like in one like video and stuff. So we're gonna get right into it. And just a pre-warning, there will be pausing. I I don't like to pause too much and stuff, but I don't want to talk over the song or talk over their vocals or anything like that. So I will pause. Just letting you guys know.
29th of July. Weather is clear. One adult asked me, "What is your dream?" As if my dream explained who I am. When I said I had no dream, the look on the adult's face was like to the child with no name. The look was familiar to me. Though studying wasn't much of my taste, I tried my best. Parents were fond of joy when I brought good grades to them. Walking on the same path at the same time, I continued my life with no expression. Many books tell me, look at the stars in the night sky and become the person who shines bright like those stars.
Ooh, okay. So I like this. I really like how they have like this kind of prologue like speech as like the first thing to open their album and start this whole series. And I love how much, because I did listen to their newest album and like the newest comebacks and all that stuff, so it's so cool to see like kind of like the connections through them and everything. And especially like the like having no expression, and like especially with No World and stuff, waking up from that and stuff. So this is like kind of the beforehand. But looking up at the stars in the night sky, I love how much they use that throughout everything too. Like they use it in like illusion, like opening up your eyes. And then in the New World, I think the end thing is like look up or eyes on the sky or something like that. Just like I love that connection through everything. It's really nice.
but the stars that I looked up in the sky did not shine at all. So I continued to walk, looking down on the floor. Suddenly, a strange thing happened to me. As I was walking, a child came up to me and started talking to me. There's nothing on the floor to look at. Raise your head up. This child was a bit weird. The child looked at me with a bright smile and had a pure glow from its face, but it seems like this child had the same expression on its eyes as me. From that moment, we started to hang out a few times. Turning up the music and dancing together was the most exciting part of our hangouts. For the first time, I actually felt alive. Hearts pounding like it's about to burst out, and this tingling feelings coming up from my fingertips started to take over me. Was there a moment when I wanted something this bad? One by one, more children started to say my name. The path that I only walked with one another person became a path to many. Slowly, the word I became ours. Wandering around with this unknown fever, as we looked above our heads, stars seemed to shine bright. Today.
Okay, before we get into that, I loved that like just spoken word and stuff, like just storytelling over it was so good. It just like set the whole kind of mood and precedent for this. But I also know about like the diary entries and like all that stuff, so I will be going through those as I go through these albums, and like all that stuff and everything. But I really liked that. Like that was such a good way to set the atmosphere and just like the whole kind of like story along this. So we're gonna get right into this now. I am excited, especially for this, because I remember specifically this instrumental, like the opening part and everything. So we're gonna get right into this. Okay. I'm gonna call it early, man. This is gonna be one of my favorites on the album. This is one of my favorite Ateez songs. I know we're like not even halfway through it. That we're gonna keep going through this because I'm gonna listen to this again because this, I love this. That part specifically. I love that beat so much. I feel like by now you guys know how much I am in love with Son's voice. This is the perfect example of what I would say is my favorite quality of Sun's voice. This airiness and just like that cry quality he brings into the end of his phrases, especially in this. This is the perfect line before the chorus, like the pre-chorus and everything, to lead into that. Like, that is so good, especially after Jungho too. You get that airiness. Piano. Ooh, that piano part reminds me of the end of the Diary film, I think, when they're all coming together, like that.
Young fever.
I can't already be crying. It's the first song. Okay. We're listening to this again. I need to find where this comes in. That it's like not even like sad tears. I just love that so much. We're gonna do this again because I feel like I did not read any of those lyrics that much. Because that song, after the first time listening to this, I am gonna say this is in my at least top 10 Ateez songs like that I've heard. The progression throughout this was absolutely amazing. But we're gonna listen to this again. So it's probably gonna be a longer one because okay, I'm gonna pause more in this one because I didn't want to pause and interrupt any of the actual like rhythm and everything in that. But I'm loving how Wooyoung, San, and Sunghwa, those three specifically on this song, Wooyoung and San, I love their back and forth all the time. Like, they have, not that they have similar tones or qualities or anything, but they do have a similar like register that they choose to sing in a lot. But San has more of that cry quality to his voice, and Wooyoung has more of that like forwardness. It's just such a good mix. And Sunghwa, I loved how he sounded on that like little pre-chorus part that he did with Yoonho. It was so good. But San, man, his voice has got to be one of my favorite that I've heard, like, at all. Like, not just in Ateez, like, one of my favorite voices. It's just so beautiful, man. But in this beat, I love this instrumental. Dun, 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 dun. And then it cuts out. And I'm going to tell you, for a hot second, I thought that was Miggy. Like, before I actually saw this, I love how it cuts out. And it's just those, like, that clap and stuff mixed with that low, like, kick. It's just so good because it's just such a nice switch up. Dun, 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 dun. And I love those.
너도 나와 같은 어둠 속일까
방황 끝에 우린 어딜지 그 누구도 모를걸
And that build up they always do. That favorite part when Sun does that, and then the like ooh part, like it gives it such a good time to breathe through the song. It's just like that, like very like freeing kind of like feel, you know? I love that. How light two Wooyoung and Sun's voices are on that part specifically, and then Sunghwa brings in that like more deeper kind of bass voice to it. It's just so good, man. I love that melody. I love those, like, it's kind of like xylophone sound. And this is like so great when this comes in. Ateez and Piano Man is my favorite thing. That build up with that snare drum.
Patient young fever.
And especially this part, like the woo part, like that is, I love how much more like kind of an electronic feel it has. It's so much like a higher pitch than like what the rest of the song is, mixed with those very like those lower kicks and stuff is just such a good mix for this. Yeah. I'm gonna call it early, man. That is gonna be probably my favorite on the album. If not, then like tied for my favorite. That is one of my favorite Ateez songs. Like even just listening to it those like 2 times, even while pausing and stuff, it's in my top 10, probably almost my top 5. Like I loved that song. Everything was perfect from the instrumental to the way that everybody sounded on that. Especially, I love the rhythm that Hongjoong and Mingi went over. It was so good. I love how Mingi took more of that like slower kind of approach to it, and then Hongjoong kind of like sped up the rhythm and everything. And then I loved Jungho just like pretty much going throughout the whole song, especially like the chorus bit and stuff. His voice fit that so well, especially the build up. And Wooyoung and San doing those two parts, man, their voices were made for that. It was so good. And Sunghwa and Yoonho, I love the trade-off they had between those lines. Just because they both do have that deeper tone and everything, so it offsets San and Wooyoung with that higher register part. But that song was freaking amazing. I am going to be checking out that live soon, like probably right after this, because I need to watch that and see a live version of that. But next, we're going to get right into THANXX. I have heard this and watched the music video and all that stuff, but I feel like I didn't pay attention to the lyrics a lot of the times when I watch music videos as much, just because the visuals are a lot. So we're going to do the lyrics for this one. But yeah, running right into it, so let's go. I love this song too. Dude, that part is like one of my favorite parts of any Ateez song, and I don't know why. Like when Yoonho does that part, it's just, I love it. I love that guitar throughout this too. It gives it like very much like a Middle Eastern feel. Ooh. I love that. That was like a very like Santana kind of guitar. Ooh, okay. And now it fits together more. Like after like knowing more of like the story kind of stuff and everything, like the dancing on their own and just like dancing to their own rhythm and like doing that and everything. It's so nice. Ooh, I love that. I love like the more like confidence and stuff in this one too. I loved that part too. And this going off in the vocals in the back. That was such like a nice upbeat kind of like progression and stuff after Fever 2. Okay, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about that one because I did do like the whole music video and like deep dive into that song. But I do love it. I love how like upbeat and kind of more on like the intense side it is rather than Fever and stuff. So it's bringing you into like more of that element. which the next one's To the Beat. And I'm guessing this is going to be like a more upbeat one too, just because of the title of the song. Could be wrong, but I'm excited. I feel like I've heard a good amount of this one, like about it. But there is a Selfie music video, so we'll be watching that after the lyrics. But ready right to this? Okay, yeah. What? Why is there whispering? Okay. Those hits are theirs. Dude, that low bass hit. Okay, his voice is too much in my ears right now. Ooh. That bell reminds me of Halazia. But that like very high-pitched vocal in the back and stuff, like over this and stuff, gives it such its own style. Like, I feel like to what I've heard from anything from Ateez, I love it. We're 22 seconds in. I'm sorry. I love that back and forth.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Okay, this is a lot, man. I feel like I can't keep my mouth shut. This is so good. I feel like my style of music varies very much. Like, I love a slow piano ballad, like an even more R&B kind of feeling that like Fever was, but I also love this. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of like very heavy electronic music, but more this style, like that lo-fi kind of trap feeling of that style is very much what I love too. And that very high, like, I don't know if it's a synth. I'm not like extremely good at guessing instruments. But it sounds like that very like high pitched kind of electronic sound. They use that in Paradigm and Don't Stop, and I really love it. Like, the way that they use it specifically in their choruses like this is so nice. I like little auto tune kind of that. And you get those hi-hats right there. I love how like, and you get those like high distorted vocals in the back too. I love that bass so much. And then you get that. I love them like being like, we know that we're good. So
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I love that. Okay. Also, I'm usually not the biggest fan of autotune either. But I've said it before, Ateez uses it in a way that I do like it. But I feel like they use it they don't use it to like cover up any like vocal issues or anything. They use it for stylistic choices, which I like. But especially with Jungho right here, I love this like the melody and stuff to go up here. Make you say wow. I love how he starts like kind of higher and goes into like that lower tone afterwards and everything. Like Jungho, I love Jungho and his lower register, and I feel like I don't hear it enough. Just because he is mostly like either doing very high notes or like the belty and everything. But I love how he sounds right here. Okay, I feel like I definitely heard this little snippet before in something. Ooh, was it? Hold on. Was it in the Diary film with Young? Like that beat that he was dancing to? I think that's what this is from. If not, I feel like I've heard this before. But I love how mechanical and very like heavy it is. It's so good. It reminds me so much of the instrumental from like Deja Vu and like that kind of style, but like more on that like harder hitting lower bass kind of feel is so good. And you get those hi-hats coming in too. That was so good. Especially after THANXX. Okay, we're gonna get right into the Selfie music video, and it is on their channel, so I'm guessing it's fine to watch on here. But we're gonna get right into this.
셀미션 팀! 안녕하세요, 에이티즈입니다. 네, 오늘은 저희가 추석 특집 춤을 춰 뮤직비디오를 한번 만들어보도록 할까요?
Okay.
Let's go! 가시죠!
Oh my god. I don't remember what it was from. Maybe a compilation or something, but I saw like part of the behind the scenes parts of this, like of not the actual video. So I'm glad that I see the actual video now. I'm so mad that these people are whispering at me right now. Doesn't know any of the words.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
What is he wearing on his Jungho? I can't with these glasses.
I'll make you say wow.
가짜는 날들 저래 여기에 오지 마 픽. 내가 밤의 경계는 내론 내 몸에 흐드드 히. 어디에라 빛이 난 몸에 스치 여긴 뜨거워 나도
Freaking you know.
어디 둘러보는 너네 목기면 모두 다 같아지. 이제만 분위긴 끝없이 올라가 전부터 들었지. 근데 넌 뭐가 다 불만이야 그렇게 배알이 골리니.
One of my favorite things is seeing Ateez feel themselves because they deserve all the freaking praise.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I'll make you say wow.
Oh my god.
I'll make you say wow. 규칙은 너무 여긴 chaos. 그리고 우린 out of
What the fuck is going on? Minky's just dying in the back, you see him? That was so good. Okay. That was a good time. I love that song. Like, it's just such a more hype song, and just like that feeling to it is so nice. I love how like hard hitting it is. But we're gonna get right into Inception. We have heard this one and watched the music video and everything, but we're gonna listen to it again. So especially from this back into Inception, I'm interested to see how the last two are gonna sound, because this, especially during the verses and stuff, they go more into that slowed down kind of feel. But when they bring in like the when it's the dance break and like that drop and stuff, it brings it back upbeat. So I feel like it's a good transition piece between To The Beat and these last two. So we're gonna get right into this.
I'm in love.
I love that too. The very distant like.
찬란한 순간 그 눈 맞춤 모든 감각이 멈춘 순간 내 안에 퍼진 작은 떨림 처음 느껴보는 내가 든 듯한 기분이 날 삼켜와 꿈에서도 본 적 없는 꿈을 꾸는 기분이야 꿈이라고 단정짓기엔 꽤 확실한 느낌이라 그냥 날 보기 전에 그림자서 끝까지 선명한데 널 다시 마주한 날만 바라볼게 전으로 돌아갈 순 없을 것 같아 널 모르던 나널 마주친 후에 난 걷잡을 수 없이 더 갈망하게 되는 걸난 마치 꿈에서 꿈을 꾼 듯이 널 찾아서 헤매다 길을 잃어가 다신 깨지 못해 너란 꿈을 살아 Everyday 날 안겨주지
That vocal clip right there is so good every time I hear it. See, it still has that little bit more of that dance electronic beat and stuff, but it brings in more of those like smoother slow down elements. Yeah, like trying to find that dream again. That's my favorite part of the song. It's just so good, man. Like, especially after this high, like, part and everything. Yeah, it's like that repeated process of trying to find. How much that builds up. Yeah, like stuck in that endless cycle. Yeah, I've always loved that song. I love how much it incorporates like just the different styles and like elements into it and everything, especially throughout the verses, and like they bring in that dance beat and stuff to it, mixed with those like smoother verses. Is so nice. But I love how much they talk about like the dreaming and being lost and everything, because it really like sets a tone for these, and just like the whole kind of like style and vibe that they're going through, like without all of their discography and stuff, especially like how they're talking about like just reaching for their dreams and everything, especially with the Treasure series and everything, and now they're at like losing and not being able to find that dream again, which is so good. But we're at Good Little Boy. These are the last two songs on here, this one and then One Day at a Time. And I feel like One Day at a Time is a slower one. And I feel like everything I've heard about this one, I feel like I haven't heard a lot, but just like looking at it and like in my mind, I'm just like picturing a very upbeat, like rap heavy song. I don't know if I'm right or not, or totally not right. But I feel like that's like the assumption I've always had while seeing like this title. But I'm excited to see like what way they go after Inception, because I feel like it still had the same elements that To The Beat had, but it slowed it down a little bit. So I don't know if we're going back up or anything, but we're gonna get right into this, so let's go. Oh. This was not what I was expecting at all. I, like, not in a bad way either. I like this a lot. It first started out with, like kind of that, like, rock kind of feel, like that electric guitar and stuff. But then it brought into, like, more of kind of, like, a reggae kind of, like, element and stuff. Like, the way that they were, like, saying, like, the phrases and stuff. Ooh. I love when he goes into that like lower tone. I am loving this song. I love how I don't remember what song it is. And I said this before too. And I can't think of it off the top of my head. And it makes me mad that I can't. But when Hangjin does that tone specifically, and just like that instrumental specifically, reminds me so much of a couple of their other songs. And just like that switch up. Like, I didn't expect it to go, like, with that build-up and stuff, I expected it to go into, like, a full chorus and not, like, one of the rap verses and stuff, but I really like that. If you would think it would go into a full chorus right here, but it goes into Hongju's part. Just a moment, baby. Ooh. Acoustic guitar? Ooh, okay, I've heard that part. That, I think that's the part when I watched the relay dance, right? I think that's the part that Hongjoon did. Like, that he sang stuff. Because that sounds very familiar. This song, it switches up the beat so much. It's like, at first I got like more rock vibes just from that, like the first couple seconds. And then it turned into like that more like smooth reggae kind of feel. And then Hongjoon brought in like that trap feel. And now it's acoustic guitar. And now we're going into something else. I like it though. Like the composition of the song is very well put together. But it showcases so much. It's so nice. Like I was not expecting this guitar at all. I love it. This seems like a theme song or something. Like that kind of feel to it. Ooh. I love those hits right there. You get those like high-pitched vocals. I did not look at the lyrics at all, I'm sorry. I love this when this transitions into this part. And that part. And you get that fast like beatboxing kind of rhythm in the back too. I love that guitar, the strings. I love his voice right there. Yeah, this is very more like, I feel like a very anthem, like hype you up song. I love that whoa part. Okay, that song was, I feel like that's probably the most different style that I've heard from Ateez so far. Just like how, I don't know like what exactly it is. Like I liked it a lot. It was very I love how much they incorporated into that. Like there was so much beat switch ups and so much different genre elements throughout that. It was so good. And I love, my favorite part was probably the guitar. That like acoustic guitar over them was so good. And their vocals, it was so nice. Just like a very, I can definitely see that being like the opening to like an anime or something. Like that, especially that first chorus part, like after Young and stuff. But I really liked it. That was such a good, I feel like, pick back up. Afterward, like after Inception, it slowed it down a little bit, and then that brought it more into not the very hard hitting like lower tone stuff that To The Beat was, but it brought it more into like an upbeat, more like fun element. But we're gonna get into the last song on the album, which is One Day at a Time. I don't think I've heard any of this or anything. I just heard a lot about it, but we're gonna get right into it, so let's go.
If you're a bit scared, you're living on.
Was that sound specifically? I feel like, was that the song they used in Fever Road? I think a couple times, like that very like that sound specifically sounds really familiar. Anything was from that.
If you're a bit scared, you're living on edge. It's how to escape your worries. If you wanna hide, then losing your mind, you gotta lean on somebody. I'll be there, somebody for ya. Doesn't matter, don't matter. When you're feeling under pressure, say the word, I'll be there.
Wait, is this gonna be in all English?
Whenever you like, hit me up, DM, tweet, call me over time. Till we're free to meet up for a coffee and a smile. See you on the other side. Don't let it get you down.
Okay, I've heard this part. I'm sorry, we need to go all the way back. I am loving the lyrics on this. I am loving the instrumental and their voices. This, it's such like a soft song.
If you're a bit scared, you're living on edge. It's how to escape.
I love how minimal the instrumental is.
You gotta lean on somebody. I'll be there, somebody for ya.
It gives me like very like R&B kind of elements too.
When you're feeling under pressure, say the word, I'll be there. 'Cause you can reach me easy whenever you like. Hit me up, DM, tweet, call me over time. Till we're free to meet up for a coffee and a smile. See you on the other side. Don't let it get you down. It's gonna end, no doubt. I'm out here holding my breath. I just can't wait to see you again. Oh yeah, it feels like it's been forever. Counting down the days. When it's overwhelming, hold on tight, I'll be here. Don't forget it. 'Cause in life sometimes we need a helping, and you'll be alright. Just take it slow, one day at a time. If you think you're trapped, you're in that box about yourself, I'll help you break it. I'm gonna catch you when you fall, when you're sinking. And when it gets the most, I'm overtake it. Don't look back, let it go. Just keep calm and carry on.
Yeah, they talk a lot, but I ain't tripping. Trying to drown us, keep us swimming. While we have stay in the moment. We can't stop, just running beyond.
Put it all up, we can pull up. Yeah, we can give up, it's about love. Yeah, we go up, all these
I'm so sorry, I haven't said anything. I am trying not to let these fucking tears fall right now. Okay. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna listen to this again, so. I love that. It's overwhelming. Hold on tight, I'll be here. Don't forget. Okay. It's always one song that gets me very hard. Apparently two, because I already cried in this album. This song was so just like comforting and just like a hug and just like so I loved just the whole sentiment of it, and I love this style specifically. It's very more on that R&B side. That's my favorite type of music. So that mixed with the lyrics, plus it was all English, which I loved that they did that. And just like their voices on it, like especially Jungho, man, him and the style is my favorite. Everyone just sounded so good, and I loved the song. It got me, man. Just like when that overwhelming part came on, it got me a lot. Like, we're gonna do this again because I need to listen to the song again. So we're gonna do this one more time. There's chills. I just love how calm this song is.
If you're a bit scared, you're living on edge. It's hard to escape your worries. If you wanna hide, you're losing your mind. You gotta lean on somebody. I'll be there somebody for you.
Especially that Uyoung's voice.
I'll be there somebody for you. Doesn't matter when you're feeling under pressure. Say the word.
And you get those light kicks and stuff in there too.
'Cause you can reach me whenever you like. Hit me up DM3 to call me over time. Feel free to meet up for a coffee and a smile. See you on the other side. Don't let it get you down.
I feel like that part specifically is like what I've heard before.
It's gonna end the doubt. I'm out here holding my breath. I just can't wait to see you again. Oh yeah.
I love that rhythm right there that he does.
It's gonna end the doubt. I'm out here holding my breath. I just can't wait to see you again. Oh yeah. It feels like it's been forever. Counting down the days. When it's overwhelming, hold on tight, I'll be here.
That's my favorite part of the song. Yoonho, this part.
When it's overwhelming, hold on tight, I'll be here. Don't forget it. 'Cause you're right, sometimes we need a helping hand.
And you get those like those hard bass kicks, but it's so smooth.
One day at a time. If you think you're trapped, you're in that box about yourself. I'll help you break it.
Ooh, I like how he did that.
Box about yourself. I'll help you break it. I'm gonna catch you when you fall, when you're sinking. And when it gets the most, I'm gonna take it. Don't look back, let it go.
Oh, it's that part, man. The overwhelming and overthinking and stuff. Just like it hits me. Just like anyone that knows like anxiety or anything like that, that is like the absolute like worst thing you can do, but it's the thing that you do the most. Overthink literally everything.
Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah, they talk a lot, but I ain't tripping. Tryna drown us, keep us swimming. What we had.
I also like that Mingy still has that kind of effect on his voice that he has throughout the other songs because it makes it cohesive and stuff. But it's not as intense because the song calls for more of like a subdued version of it.
Stay in the moment. We can't stop, just wanna be honest. Put it all up, we can pull up. Yeah, we can give up, it's about love.
I love Hanjin's tone right here.
Say, look, yeah, they can all try, but they'll never break us. When it's overwhelm me, hold on tight, I'll be here.
That part is so good.
Overwhelm me, hold on tight, I'll be here. Don't forget it, 'cause in life sometimes we need a helping, and you'll be alright. Just take it slow, one day at a time. We've come so far, we're in this together. Even though we're apart, won't be for long, won't be for long. We face stormy weather, race pouring, but it never lasts.
San's voice.
Pouring, but it never lasts. Only gets better from here. When it's overwhelming, hold on tight, I'll be here. Don't forget it, 'cause in life sometimes we need a helping, and you'll be alright. Just take it slow, one day at a time.
Yeah. That song was so beautiful. I loved that. I feel like it's just such a good comfort song. So I will definitely be listening to that when I need it. I love how they opened and closed this album specifically. This, like, not counting the diary like kind of part and stuff, but like Fever being the first like official song and then this closing it out, I feel like they brought in like the same more kind of R&B like smoother elements that Fever had into One Day at a Time, but made it more that slower kind of meaningful part too. And it's so good because all the ones that are in between those, like THANXX, To The Beat, Inception, and even Good Little Boy are very more on the upbeat side. Like different styles of upbeat and stuff. I love how To The Beat and even a little bit of THANXX brought in more of that like heavy, like more harder kind of bass feel and stuff. THANXX rather sounds more like Good Little Boy, like that guitar and stuff too. And then Inception, I love how it was kind of a mix of that. It had, especially during the verses and like the chorus part and everything with Sungwa and just like doing that part with Ooyoung and stuff, that specifically is so different from like the dance elements that they brought in during like after the chorus bits was so good because it was just like a good mix, I think, between all the songs on this and just like a good transition point for the last few songs. But One Day at a Time and Fever are definitely my two favorites. I don't want to pick one because Fever brought out the emotions too. But I absolutely love Fever. That's one of my favorite AT songs. Like in my top 10, like just on the first two listens and stuff, that is one of my favorites. And then just like One Day at a Time is just like that comfort song that you need to listen to sometimes. And especially right now, it was much needed. So I appreciate it. But I loved this album. They experimented with a lot, like especially I feel like Good Little Boy had such like a mix of everything, just like different genre wise and stuff, and especially the other songs too. I love how much they played around with the different styles in this. But I have to say Ateez piano and R&B style is my favorite from them, just as a whole. and I love that they incorporated that into this album too. But it was so good. I'm so excited to get into part 2. I think part 2, I have like the list over here. Yeah, part 2 has Fireworks, I'm the One, Celebrate. I think those are the only 2 that I've heard on here. And it also has the Heat Topping version and Take Me Home English version. So I'm excited for that one. I've heard a lot about the Leaders that's on there too, so I'm looking forward to hearing that one. But I'm excited. That is going to be coming soon. I am so excited to get more into like the Fever series albums, because this, man, Fever, the song itself was so good. And just like this whole album as a whole, I really love. It really set the tone for, I think, especially like story wise and like that kind of stuff, especially with like the spoken word like diary like track and everything that they had on here, really set the tone for everything. And I love how much in the lyrics throughout this whole album really connected more of the Treasure series with like the dreaming and finding dreams and stuff with the more recent stuff of like the worlds and everything, where waking up and trying to like live that dream and like find that dream and just like be your own person pretty much. And I really like that just cohesive, very story driven with lyrics and everything, very well thought out. It's just so nice. And that's one thing Ateez always does so well. So I love this. Everyone stuck out so much, but I have to say I love how San sounded on this album. Like him specifically, his voice, maybe it's just because it's one of my favorite voices that he stuck out a lot, but I love his voice on here, especially during Fever. But I also loved Hongjoon and Mingi. Like I feel like Hongjoon did more of that like fuller, deeper tone than he does usually in these raps and stuff. And I feel like he did that a lot on this album specifically, which I really liked because it really complemented Mingi's tone a lot. And Jungho, I love how his voice specifically, like on One Day at a Time, sounded. His voice on that R&B kind of slower style, I absolutely love. And I love when he goes into that deeper tone, but also his head voice is so nice too. Just like an all-around like amazing singer. So, but for that style specifically, I love that. And I love Sungwa and Yoonho. Yoonho on One Day at a Time really stuck out, and Sungwa on Fever really stuck out. Wooyoung, I love how he sounded on Good Little Boy. Just like that specific tone that he has specifically is just so nice to hear, especially on those types of songs. And I love on Fever how he went back and forth with San, because I love their tones back and forth together. Yesung, I feel like I didn't hear Yesung enough on this, and I know with albums specifically, he doesn't get like tons and tons of lines, which I'm glad that he's getting a lot more now. Specifically, I've been seeing it. But I love how he sounded, especially the way that they utilized his voice on these songs, doing more of that like lower whisper kind of sound. It's so nice because he has that rich voice that really fits that style. Especially when he goes back and forth with people like Wooyoung, it's so different and it makes it so like just a good mix throughout the whole song itself. But this whole album was great. Everyone did great. I love like the writing and just like the different elements that they chose to throw in here. Especially the instrumentals. I feel like they really switched up the instrumentals a lot throughout every single song, which just gives a good variety to it. But yeah, it was so good. I am definitely looking forward to the next one that should be coming soon. But yeah, this is already over an hour long and there's only 6 songs on here. Or like 7 counting the other one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me and everything. Finally glad to be getting back into album listens. I haven't done one in a hot minute. So I'm glad I'm finally doing them again. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching and listening with me and everything. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.